the Heal Wellness and Therapy's Therapeutic Yoga class. What I would like you to do is make sure for class that you have a bolster somewhere near the side of your mat. Outside of also having your bolster, if you could start with having a chair that you're going to be sitting on. If you do not have a bolster, a second option is to use a couple of double stuffed pillows, meaning that there's 2 pillows inside of each of these pillowcases. You want, if you're using pillows, to make it so that when it compresses down to about 6 inches, so that you're going to get the benefit of this yoga class to the rib cage. There's other things you could use. You could use cushions to a couch, but those are the more common things that people use are pillows or cushions. All right, so we're going to get started in sitting today. So go ahead and have yourself a seat on your chair. And we're actually going to begin class today with a breathing exercise that isn't a yoga breathing exercise. I thought in the midst of everything that we're going through, maybe it would be beneficial to teach everyone a couple of breathing exercises that are beneficial if you do end up having any sort of respiratory complications. So on a couple of pulmonary websites, they have some good advice for how to check your lungs every morning. So what I thought we would begin with is a quick little lung check. So as some of you may know, if you are up on the science of the coronavirus, the way that it really attacks your respiratory system is it creates a lot of mucus into the lining of your lungs. So that's also called fibrosis when it's been there long enough. So a nice little lung check that you can do every morning is to see if you can hold your breath for 10 seconds without needing to cough. Now understand, if you're on this call and this yoga session and you have any sort of COPD or asthma or emphysema, don't feel stressed out if you can't hold your breath for 10 seconds without having to cough, because you probably have some chronic lung conditions that are limiting your respiratory system. Better reason to stay at home and be in these therapeutic yoga classes. So let's give it all a try together so that we can all do our morning lung check. I've already done mine earlier today, but I'm going to do it again with you guys. So it's really as simple as this. Sit up nice and tall, shoulders gently back and down your rib cage. Lengthen your neck so that you're nice and tall. Have yourself that both feet are on the floor. Take a nice deep inhale into your nose. Now hold your breath for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and gently exhale. Very good. That's all there is to it. So when you did that, did you have an immediate urge that you needed to cough? If so, the next breathing exercise that we're doing is a really good breathing exercise for you to practice on a regular basis. It is called pursed lip breathing. So P-U-R-S-E-D, lip breathing. It is a very beneficial breathing exercise to do if you get any sort of respiratory condition that's limiting your breathing. So it's nice and simple. We do it a lot of times in this yoga class when we do 4, 7, 8 breath, but we're going to do it today without doing the retention of the breath, in case we do have folks on here that did end up having to cough when you held for 10 seconds. So it's as simple as this. You're going to inhale into your nose for 4. And then what you're going to do is you're going to purse your lips, just like you're about to grab a straw. Purse your lips and exhale slowly out through your mouth for 8. So we're going to double our exhale from our inhale. 2 things that does, ladies and gentlemen. One, it increases the oxygenation that occurs in our lungs because the good air, the oxygen is in there longer. But the more important thing it's doing today is it's also helping us calm down our nervous system. So we have something called our autonomic nervous system. It is our flight and flight or our rest and relax. And so when you focus on your exhale being longer than your inhale, you start to calm down that relax part of your autonomic nervous system. So let's give it a try for 4 breaths. Have yourself nice and tall. Shoulder blades are back and down. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin inward. Feet are resting on the floor. Feel free to close your eyes if you would like to really focus on your breath. Now take a nice deep inhale into your belly, as deep as you can for 4, 3, 2, 1. Now purse your lips and exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale deep into those lungs. 4, 3, 2, 1. Purse your lips and exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale deep to the bases of those lungs. 4, 3, 2, 1. Purse your lips and exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. Inhale real deep for 4, 3, 2, 1. Purse your lips and exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. It's as simple as that. So if anything is happening that you're noticing some shortness of breath, it is absolutely the breathing exercise that you can do that will promote oxygenation to your body so that you're not getting so much more short of breath than you're already experiencing. All right, let's move on with class. So let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to focus on today. So a lot of us have neck pain, a lot of us have back pain, a lot of us have both of those. The focus on today's class is going to be purely about treating or working on individuals that have had both problems. And the key to fixing neck and back pain together is to treat the rib cage. So that's what we're going to work on doing through a therapeutic yoga class today. We're going to start doing it in sitting first. We're going to then move on to kneeling and hands and knees. And then we're finally going to move on to getting down to our mat and doing some work with our bolster. So let's begin in sitting. Take your arms nice and wide. Let's see if we've got some dancers in the group. So take your left arm and bring your fingertips up, and take your right arm and bring your fingertips down. Very nice. Pull your shoulder blades back and down. Sit nice and tall. Maybe even give me a nice big smile on your face, right? So let's take an inhale and switch the hands so we get a bit of stretching through our arms and wrists. Exhale, switch the hands and do the opposite side. Very good. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling up. Exhaling down, depending on if you're focusing on your left or right hand. Again, inhaling down or exhaling up. Excellent. Turn the palms now upward, shoulder blades back and down. Fingertips up on one hand, fingertips down on the other hand. Some of you might feel some tension in your wrist or your forearms here. That's nerve tension. Only go to where you don't feel pain here, ladies and gentlemen. Take an inhale, switch the wrists into the opposite direction, and exhale, switch into the opposite direction. Much harder than the first way. Inhale and exhale. And one last time, inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Let your arms down, shake them out. Take your hands to the center of your heart for me. Take a nice deep inhale, lift your arms nice and high. Exhale, bring your hands nice and low. Very good. 2 more times for me. Inhaling nice and high. Reach as high as you can. Turning the palms and exhaling all the way down. Very good. Last time, hands to heart. Inhaling, reach the fingertips to the ceiling. Turning the palms and exhaling all the way down. Excellent. Interlace your hands between, interlace your fingers, and then turn your hands outward for me. Once you're there, allow yourself to inhale and lift your arms up. Exhale, pull your shoulders away from your ears. Make sure your feet are flat on the floor. Take an inhale, lift the rib cage up, and then as you exhale, reach up and over to that right side. You got it, guys. Inhaling, coming back up to the center, and then exhaling, reaching up and over to the left side. Inhaling up, exhaling to the right, inhaling up, exhaling to the left. One more round for me. Inhaling up and exhaling to the right, and inhaling up and exhaling to the left. Very nice. Inhale the hands up and then exhale the arms down. Give your shoulders a couple of little shrugs, and then we're going to do that all over again, but working from the front to the back. So interlace your hands again. Take your wrists and spread them to the front of you. Take an inhale and lift all the way up. Arch your back, lift your chest, gaze your head upward. And now exhale and curl all the way down. Take your wrist down to your knees, drop your chin to your chest. Very good. 3 more times. Inhale, lifting all the way up. And then as you exhale, coming all the way down. Really let your rib cage drop, chin to chest for me. Inhaling, lifting all the way up. And exhaling, curling all the way down. Last time, inhaling all the way up. And exhaling, curling all the way down. Very nice. Inhale all the way back up again, and then exhale, relax your arms down. Very nice. Now, we're going to do an active rotation in sitting before we transition down to our mat. So let me hear you. I want you to hear me real quickly. If you have osteoporosis, I want you to do this with us, but don't force your movement. If you know that your bone density is what's called osteopenic, which means it's the step before osteoporosis, feel free to do this. You're not going to do any harm to your body. All right, take your hand to the center of your heart and then bring your fingertips all the way out in front of you. Take a nice deep inhale here. Then on the exhale, take your gaze and your right hand all the way behind you. Look behind you as far as you can. Inhale, take your gaze and your thumb all the way back forward. And then as you exhale, gaze with the left thumb as you bring that thumb all the way behind you. Inhaling, bring that left hand and head back to the center. Exhaling, take your gaze with your right thumb and twist behind you as far as you feel comfortable. Inhaling back to the center. One more time with the left. Exhaling all the way to the left, gazing at that left thumb. And inhaling, bringing that thumb all the way back to the center and exhaling there. Very good. So those are ways of opening up our rib cage in sitting. If you've been sitting at a computer or you're doing a hobby or a task for a long period of time in sitting, like reading, take the time to do some of the things that we just did in sitting if you can't change your position or you just don't want to. All right, so now let's make our way down to our mat. As you make your way down to your mat, simply take your chair and move it out of your way. As you move down to your mat, find your bolster and place it in the center of your mat. Have yourself so that as you place your bolster in the center of your mat, you're going to then find your way to hands and knees. As you find your way to hands and knees, allow yourself to have your knees to the back of your bolster and your hands to the front of the bolster. Once you're in that position, let's talk about alignment for a second. So gaze back at your knees, make sure that your knees are 2 fist width on your mat, and then look straight behind you and make sure that you can't see your feet on the inside or the outside. Walk your hands forward so that your hips are stacked directly on top of your knees, and then have your hands on the floor so that your elbows and wrists are directly underneath your shoulders. Lengthen through your neck, settle your chin into your throat, and gaze downward. Now let's go ahead and start with some cat-cows here. So as you inhale, sink your belly first, allow your spine to go down, lift your tailbone, shoulder blades back, lengthen your neck and look up to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, pull your belly in, arch your back, tuck your tailbone, spread your shoulder blades, bring your chin into your chest and look to your belly button. Inhale, sink the belly, sink the spine, lift the tailbone, shoulder blades back, look up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, curl everything under, tuck that tailbone, spread those shoulder blades, chin all the way to the chest, look into your belly button. Inhaling, sinking all the way down. And exhaling, curling all the way up. Let's do one more time here. Inhaling, sinking everything down, lengthen the front of your neck and look upward. And then as you exhale this time, curl everything up and under. Walk your hands up onto your bolster or your pillows. Stay right here for me. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, tuck your tailbone under as much as you can as you gently sit backwards towards your heels. Take another nice deep inhale, and then as you exhale, gently bend your elbows. And how easy is it for you to gently lay your forehead onto your bolster? Allow yourself to rest right there for a moment. Dropping your head down onto the bolster. Imagine where your hairline is and place that on your bolster. Keep your tailbone gently tucked under. Keep your rib cage settling downwards towards your knees. Rest your tongue onto the roof of your mouth and gently close your eyes here. And take a nice deep inhale into your belly. And then as you exhale, slowly relax and see if you can just kind of settle your tailbone a little bit. Rest your ribs down a little lower, maybe even soften your shoulders. Take a nice deep inhale into your belly. And then as you exhale, slowly relaxing the tailbone, dropping the rib cage, softening the shoulders. And then one more breath, deep inhale into the belly. And then as you exhale, slowly relaxing. Very nice. Gently coming back up onto hands and knees for a minute. Now, allow yourself to turn so that you're laying with your left hip next to your bolster. Once your left hip is next to your bolster, allow your legs to line up with the outside of your mat. Once you have your knees lining up with the ankles to the shin bone to the outside of the mat, you feel your left leg touching the base of the bolster, and then gently allow yourself to just slowly drop yourself up and over the bolster until you feel like your armpit is resting near the top of the bolster. Allow your head to gently come down and support your head. If you do have a block or an additional pillow, you can place your head on there so that you're not in an extreme side bend. Now, in this position, right hand has nothing to do right now, so we can simply lay in front of you or just rest onto the bolster. Take your top right leg and take an inhale and lift that leg straight up in the air. And then as you exhale, kick that leg straight out and place that leg straight on the floor. Now with your right fingertips, take an inhale and lift your arm all the way up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, allow yourself to drop your right arm up and over your body. If your neck is okay and it doesn't cause you any pain to go into side bending, Just gently let your body drop downward as your head goes into a side bend. Now in this position, if you can imagine, trying to let your fingertips go further and your toes go longer. Take a deep inhale into the side of your right rib cage. And then as you exhale, lengthen your toes, lengthen your fingertips. Nice deep inhale into your rib cage here. And then as you exhale, lengthen your toes and lengthen your fingertips. Now, one final thing here. Check in where your right armpit is. Can you take a nice deep inhale here? And on the exhale, just gently twist that armpit a little bit up into the sky. Hold here, take a nice deep inhale and an exhale. Right arm, inhale it back all the way up. Exhaling, dropping it down onto your bolster. Right leg, inhale the leg all the way up. Exhale, bringing it back in to stack on top of the left leg. Now, from here, we're going to stay on this side. But what I want you to do is take your right hand and your left hand, take an inhale, and push yourself up into a seated position. We're going to repeat all of that on this same side. But now what I want you to do is to take your pelvis and place your pelvis up onto the bolster. So it is this easy. Use your hands, lift your hips up onto the bolster. Make sure that your entire pelvis is sitting on top of the bolster. Have your left leg, the entire leg bone, on top of the bolster or on top of the pillows. Once you have your left leg bone on top of the pillows or the bolster, take your right leg bone and knee and stack it on top. Now we're going to be doing an inversion here, so allow yourself to go down to the floor easily, but this is all you have to do. Your left hand is touching your mat. Take your right hand and touch your mat. Bend your left elbow and slowly drop your head down. So now your hips are higher than your rib cage. Your head is gently resting onto the floor. Believe it or not, your neck is pretty much in alignment here if you allow your shoulders to stack and your neck to rest. If, however, your neck is uncomfortable, you can place something small underneath your head so that that's not something that bothers you. Now let's repeat everything we just did when our rib cage was over the bolster. So starting here with the right leg, inhale, lift it up away from the left leg. Exhale, kick that leg long and drop that leg down towards the floor. You will feel this through the rib cage and the low back. Now, with the right arm, inhale it up. And as you exhale, reach up and over. Really focusing on opening up that rib cage where it connects to our low back now. Now, if you are in the class and your leg is somewhere in the air, don't worry about it. It means your low back is tight. Work towards getting your foot towards the floor, but don't go into pain. Now let's do some breathing. So take a deep breath into your belly, into your lower rib cage. And then as you exhale, can you reach your right leg longer? Can you reach your right arm longer? 2 more times. Inhale into the belly, and then as you exhale, lengthen that right leg and lengthen that right arm. Inhaling into the belly, and then as you exhale, reach and lengthen the arm and the leg. Now with the right arm, inhale, reaching it up to the ceiling, exhale, dropping it down in front of you. With the right leg, let's make this count so that we get some strength to this hip. Inhale, lift the leg straight up into the air, and then exhale, gently bring the leg and stack it on top of the left. All right, now we're going to stay here for a few breaths because we're going to do just a little bit of strengthening for this upper right hip. So give me an inhale, lift the right leg off of the left leg, and exhale, kick the leg straight out. Can you get your leg bone, your knee, and your shin bone to run parallel to the floor? Take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, tighten your abdominals. Now, keep your pelvis still, keep your back still. Can you inhale and lift that right leg up 4 to 6 inches? And exhale, drop it down parallel to the floor. 4 more times. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, drop it to the level of the floor. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, drop it to the level of the floor. 2 more times. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, drop it to the level of the floor. And finally, inhale, lift the leg. Exhale it, drop it to the level of the floor. Inhale, lift the leg up. Exhale, bend the leg up and in and place it on top of your left leg. All right, time to get ourselves from being upside down. So take your right hand, place it in front of your left shoulder area. Take a nice deep inhale here, and on the exhale, push yourself up so that you get yourself back up into a seated position. Very nice, guys. Now here's what you want to do. I am actually just going to flip myself. You do whatever you need to do so that you can still see me on the screen. And then we're going to do everything all over again on the left side. So first things first, I want to slide myself down so that my right hip is touching the edge of my bolster or my pillows. Stack my knees up, stack my ankles up so that my shin bones run parallel to the mat. In this position, I'm now going to slowly drop myself up and over the bolster. I can rest my head with my arm, a pillow, or a block if you feel like you need to. We will eventually be doing a full side bend, so if you can allow your head to eventually drop, that's good. But do whatever your neck is capable of doing. Very good. Now let's begin with the leg like we did on the opposite side. So take an inhale here, lift the leg up, and then as you exhale, kick the leg straight out behind you. Rib cage, hip, leg, everything should be in alignment right now. Left arm, inhale it up towards the ceiling, and then as you exhale, reach up and over and either keep your head supported or drop your head and let yourself side bend through the rib cage. Everything stays right here. Now, focus on breathing into the side of the rib cage here for me. Take a deep inhale here, and then as you exhale, can you lengthen your heel? Can you lengthen your toes and your fingertips? That's it. 2 more times. Nice deep inhale in. And exhale, reaching with the foot, reaching with the hand, opening up through the rib cage. 1 more time. Deep inhale in. And exhaling, reaching and reaching and reaching. Now, check in with that left armpit. Can you take an inhale here? And on the exhale, can you twist that up and open a little tiny bit just to get a little bit of the abdominal opening? Allow yourself to stay here. Deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Left hand, inhale it up. Exhale, dropping it down. Left leg, inhaling it up. Exhaling, sweeping it in and stacking it on top of the right knee and ankle. All right, just like we did on the opposite side, taking a deep inhale and on the exhale, pushing yourself back up to a seated position. Now, we are moving along to now get our rib cage up onto, our pelvis up onto the bolster. So take yourself up onto with your entire pelvis and your left leg. Right leg. So check in that your whole pelvis feels like it's on top of the bolster and you see that the majority of your right leg is on the bolster. Now, obviously, if you're tall, your knee is going to be off the end. I do not have that problem, but you might have that problem. Then take your left knee and ankle and stack it on top of the right. Time to go upside down here. So allow yourself to do it slowly. especially if you've got any sort of vestibular issues. Gently drop yourself down with your left hand, bend your right elbow, and gently bring yourself into that inverted position. Now we're not going to be focusing on the upper part of the rib cage. We're going to be focusing on the low back component of the lower rib cage. Before we get started, check in that your shoulders are stacked one on top of the other. And then let's get started with some movement. So with your left leg now, inhale the left leg up and exhale, sweep it away from you. Take an inhale here, and on the exhale, drop the left leg down towards the floor. Left hand, inhale it up. Exhale, reach it up and over. Do not be surprised if you're tighter on one side than the other. If your leg does not meet the floor, it means you're very tight through what's called your quadratus lumborum. It is the muscle that connects your rib cage and your pelvis. Work towards trying to get your foot towards the floor. All right, right at that lower rib cage, take a deep inhale here. And then on the exhale, can you reach your leg further towards the floor, away from you? Reach your arm away from you. Deep inhale into the belly and the lower ribs. Exhale, lengthen that leg and lengthen that arm. One more time, nice deep inhale in, and as you exhale, lengthening the leg and lengthening the arm. Now let's start with the left arm first. Inhale, lift the left arm back up. Exhale, drop it back down. Oops, guys, we got to do our hip strengthening. I lied. You can rest here with your arm, but now let's focus on this left hip strengthening. So take an inhale, lift the left leg up, and then exhale, bring that leg in for a second. Okay, so now let's get a little bit more strength in this hip now that we've opened up through all of the side body or the side rib cage. 5 times on this side, just like we did 5 times on the opposite side. So now with your left leg, inhale it up, and then as you exhale, lengthen that leg straight away from you. Can you get your entire leg bone to run parallel to the floor? Take a nice deep inhale here. On the exhale, tighten your abdominals. Hold everything nice and still. Now with your left leg, inhale, lift it 6 inches up. Exhale, drop it down level to the floor. Inhale it 6 inches up. Exhaling, dropping down level to the floor. 3 more times. Inhaling, lifting up 6 to 4 inches. Exhaling, dropping level to the floor. 2 more times. Inhaling, lifting that leg. Exhaling, dropping that leg. 1 more time. Inhaling, lifting 4 to 6 inches. Exhaling, dropping. Very nice. Inhale, lift your leg up. Exhale, sweep your leg all the way in, stack it directly on top of your right leg. All right, now to get yourself out of your inversion or your upside down position. Take a nice deep inhale here, and using those strong triceps, exhale and push yourself back up onto the bolster. Once you are back up onto the bolster, allow yourself to just slowly go back to hands and knees. Once you're in hands and knees, keep your bolster or your pillows there for a moment. Allow yourself to bring your wrists up onto your pillows or your wrists up onto your bolster. If your wrists are tender in extension, you can certainly do fists. Stack your hips and your knees one on top of the other. Can you check in that your knees are hip distance and that your feet go directly behind? Take a nice deep inhale here. On the exhale, tuck the tailbone, arch the back up, spread the shoulder blades, sit back into the heels, and gently drop your head downward towards the bolster. Just as before we opened up the side of the body, the crown of the head, allow that to rest on the bolster or the pillows. Arms can gently lay down beside you. Allow your tongue to rest on the roof of your mouth. Allow your eyes to gently close for a moment here. Take a nice deep inhale. On the exhale, settling your tailbone, resting the rib cage, softening the elbows, maybe even softening the neck. Nice deep inhale into the belly. Exhaling, tucking the tailbone, softening the rib cage, softening the shoulders, resting the head down onto the bolster. One more nice, deep, slow inhale in and exhaling out. Beautiful. Now, very gently coming up, allow yourself to take your bolster or your pillows and push them down to the bottom of your yoga mat. We're going to be using it at the end of class, so don't push it too far away from you that you can't easily reach it. Now that you're there, place yourself back in hands and knees. Check in with your knee distance, feet are behind you, arms are directly underneath your shoulders. We've done a lot of opening through our rib cage inside in a side position, so now we're going to really stretch what's called your latissimus muscle. So the big muscle that attaches the side of your body from your arm all the way, believe it or not, to your tailbone. So in this position, I'm just going to turn so you can see what I'm doing with my right leg, my right arm first. In this position, take an inhale and reach your right arm up into the left corner of your mat. Take an exhale and sit back and drop down onto your left elbow. Take a deep inhale here. Then on the exhale, tuck your tailbone, take your chin into your chest, and try to sit as far as you can back. You will feel a stretch through your shoulder and through the side of your rib cage. Gently let the crown of your head fall down towards your left wrist. Take a deep inhale into your belly, and then exhaling out. See if you can sit further, maybe even reach that right arm a little further. Nice deep inhaling in, and then exhaling out. Can you settle your tailbone a bit more? Maybe reach that right arm a little bit more. Then gently inhaling, straightening the left elbow, exhaling, placing the right arm back to where it is. Repeating that on the left side. Allowing yourself from hands and knees to take your left arm and bring it up towards the right corner of your mat. Take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, sit back as you drop down onto your right elbow. Take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, tuck your tailbone under, sit back and drop your head down onto your right wrist. Now from there, take a nice deep inhale in, and as you exhale, reach the left arm higher, sit back into your heels. Nice deep inhale into the belly and the rib cage. Exhaling, reach with that left arm and settle back into your heels. One more breath. Nice deep inhale in and exhale out. Bringing yourself back up to hands and knees. All right, now here's the deal. We've done lots of opening through every direction of our rib cage. What we want to do now is to try to train our rib cage muscles a little tiny bit. So this is where you gotta have some fun with me, ladies and gentlemen. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna do circles with our rib cage. So I'm going to show you from the front, from an angle, so that you can see it. For those of you that have come to my class before, you know how this is, but for those of you that are new, you maybe have never seen rib cage circles, you're not sure what they look like, so let me just show those to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on inhaling our rib cage up, exhaling, rolling to the right, inhaling there, exhaling down, inhaling over, exhaling up, inhaling up, exhaling there. So essentially, you're going to be shifting your weight from right to left arm as you move your rib cage and train the muscles how to gain strength to keep that mobility. So I'm going to talk you through it really, really slowly. You don't need to watch. All you need to do is hear me. All right, let's give it a try. So have yourself onto your hands and knees. Let's take an inhale here. On the exhale, lift your rib cage up, let your head drop down. All right. Take an inhale here. On the exhale, shift over to your right knee and your right wrist. Take an inhale here, and on the exhale, shift and let your rib cage drop down, your tailbone lift, and come back to the center. Take an inhale here and shift your weight over to your left hand and your left knee. Take another inhale and exhale, arch up and come back over to the center. Now let's try it a little bit quicker without focusing on the breath. So can you take an inhale and exhale, lift up? Can you shift to the right? Can you drop down? Can you shift to the left? Can you lift up? Can you shift to the right? Can you drop down? Can you shift to the left? Can you reach up with that rib cage? Now, how fast can you do it? Give it a try. Can you lift up and over to the right and down and over to the left and up and over to the right and down and over to the left, up and over to the right and down and over to the left? All right, who's tired? I am. Now, here's the problem. We've only done it in one direction. So now we have to do it in the opposite direction. But I want to give your wrists a little bit of a break. So take a nice deep inhale here, and then on the exhale, tuck everything under, sit back onto your heels, drop yourself down into a child's pose. Let yourself rest there for a moment, please. Take a nice deep inhale into your belly, and then as you exhale, imagine the tailbone relaxing, the rib cage dropping to the knees, lengthen the back of the neck and look in towards your feet or your belly button. Soften your arms, soften your face, rest your tongue on the roof of your mouth. 2 more breaths. Nice deep inhale into the belly. Exhaling, relaxing the tailbone, dropping the rib cage, lengthening the back of the neck, looking back and into your feet or your belly button. And 1 more breath. Nice deep inhale in. And exhale, settling the tailbone, dropping the rib cage, lengthening the back of the neck, looking into between your toes or all the way up into your belly button. All right, slowly bring yourself back up into hands and knees, and let's do round 2 of the rib cage circles or the dance. So we're going to do it the first time, nice and slow, all together. And then we're just going to do it just to have fun, ladies and gentlemen. So in this position, take an inhale, and as you exhale, arch yourself up. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, shift over to your left wrist and knee. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, drop the rib cage down, come back over to the center. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, shift to the right knee and wrist. And finally, take an inhale, and as you exhale, arch up and over to the center. Let's do it one time quickly together, and I'm going to let you play. So take an inhale. Exhale, lift up, shift to the left. Drop the rib cage down, shift to the right. Lift the rib cage up, shift to the left. Drop the rib cage down, shift to the right, and lift the rib cage up. All right, let's see if we can do it fast. Are you ready? Smile, laugh. Don't be serious about this. Just see if you can train the muscles of your rib cage to work a little bit better. Let's give it a try. I'm going to do it nice and fast so you can join me. Rib cage up, shift left, rib cage down, shift right, rib cage up, shift left, rib cage down, shift right, rib cage up, shift left, rib cage down, shift right, rib cage up, shift left, rib cage down, shift right, rib cage up. Take a deep inhale and exhale the child's pose. Rest yourself back. Now here's the deal. If this didn't do anything for you, other than teach you how to move your rib cage, I guarantee you weren't thinking about anything else happening in the world right now, because you're probably just focusing on not falling over. So allow yourself to rest in your child's pose for a minute. Take a nice deep inhale into your belly, and as you exhale, just gently let yourself settle down. Final child's pose of the class. Nice deep inhale into your belly, and then as you exhale, settle the butt towards the heels, ribs towards the knees, crown of the head towards the floor. Gaze inward and be inward. Deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling, settling, dropping, relaxing, going inward. Now, slowly allowing yourself to come back up into hands and knees. Here's the deal. Where I want you to go now is onto your side with your feet to wherever you put your bolster. So allow yourself to position yourself that you can see me and your video, and you can find your ankles or your feet on your bolster or your pillows, whichever you're using. Once you've got yourself in that position, gently allow yourself to lay down on your side to the edge of your mat, and then roll yourself over onto your back. Now, check in that you are in the right position for you for the remainder of this class. If you rest your feet outward on your blanket, on your pillows or bolsters, do you feel that just your ankles are resting on the bolster? If you are in a situation that your entire calf is on the bolster, you're not going to quite get what we want for that lymphatic drainage through your legs. So make sure, as long as you don't have a knee issue stopping you, that it's really just the ankles and the heels that are resting on your bolster. Once you're like, yep, I've got it, that's the position I want to be in, gently bring your knees up, bent, and your feet flat on the floor. Let's do a little bit of opening through our hips here. So in this position, take a nice deep inhale, bring your right knee to your chest, and as you exhale, pull your knee in. Left leg, take an inhale, kick that leg out, and as you exhale, rest that left ankle onto the bolster. Now we're going to do a little bit of play with our gluteal muscles and our hip flexors on our left leg here. So if you could for me, take an inhale and push the left heel down into the bolster, and then as you exhale, pull your right knee to your chest. Inhale, push the left leg down into the bolster. Exhale, pull the right knee to the chest. One more time for me. Inhale, push that left heel down, and then as you exhale, pull that right knee to the chest. Take an inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, rest it down to the floor. And then take an inhale here, and then exhale, rest the right foot down to the floor. Repeating everything on the opposite side. So take an inhale, left knee comes to the chest. Exhale, pull that knee nice and close to your chest. Right leg, inhale, kick it straight out, and then as you exhale, rest that heel down onto your bolster. Very nice. The focus is going to be on really opening up that right hip flexor and getting those gluteal muscles fired. So take an inhale and push your right leg down into the bolster. As you exhale, pull your left knee to your chest. Right leg, inhale, push that heel down into the bolster. Exhale, pull that right knee into your chest. Make sure your neck is long and your chin is settled inward. Right leg, inhale, push it down, really feel your gluteals engage, and then as you exhale, pull your left knee up and into your chest. Very good. Now with the right leg, inhale, lifting the right leg up, and then exhaling, dropping it to the floor. Left leg, inhaling and up, and then exhaling, dropping it to the floor. Sorry about the dog barking, guys, but I can tell you that the FedEx truck just came here. The only time she barks is when she hears the FedEx truck brakes. So FedEx is here delivering something. My apologies. All right, right knee, take it to your chest. Left knee, take it to your chest. Take a nice deep inhale here, and on the exhale, pull your knees nice and tight to your chest. Now, we're gonna do a little bit of a nerve stretch here. If you know you have a sensitive nervous system, that you have any sort of shooting symptoms in your arms and legs, just stay with your knees to your chest. If you want to really stretch out that dural system, your full nervous system, try this with me. So take a nice deep inhale here. On the exhale, lengthen your neck and settle your chin into the floor. Then take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, chin comes to chest. Now use your biceps and pull your rib cage up, bringing your forehead towards your knees. Toes, point them up. Holding here, take a nice deep inhale and an exhale. Nice deep inhale and an exhale. Start your inhale. Now on your exhale, start to drop your rib cage only first. Keep your chin to your chest. Then slowly bring your neck downward, getting that strength through your neck. And then slowly drop 1 foot at a time back down to the mat. Very nice. Now, take your right foot straight down onto the mat. Take your left foot and bring it up onto your right thigh. Take your right hand to your left knee and take your left hand up and over to the side of your body. Take a nice deep inhale here, and then on the exhale, slowly lift the pelvis off the mat, the low back, and then the rib cage as the left knee comes up and over to the right. Go as far as you can without the right or the left rib cage, or left shoulder blade, sorry, lifting up. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin, and then gently allow your head to rotate to the left. Allow yourself to rest here. Now take a nice deep inhale into your belly. And then as you exhale, no pushing or pulling, just allow yourself to twist. Imagine, if you could, you're a nice, fully wet sponge, and all you're doing is wringing all that cerebral spinal fluid out. Nice deep inhale in. And then as you exhale, relaxing here. Gently allow the head to come back to the center. Start with the left rib cage first and lower it back down to the mat, followed by the low back, followed by the pelvis. Gently place the left foot on the floor and then slide the right foot up so that the right foot is on the floor. Take your left leg and straighten it out onto the bolster. Take your right foot and place it on your left thigh. Left arm up and over to the right knee. Right arm out to the side of your body. In this position, take a nice deep inhale, and then on your exhale, right knee over to the left. Feel the pelvis lift first, followed by the low back, followed by the rib cage, but keep that right shoulder blade down onto your mat. Then lengthen your neck and settle your chin, and then slowly turn your gaze to your right. Maybe even gazing at your right thumb, but keep your chin gently tucked in. Now take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, no pushing or pulling, just holding your position. Imagining that sponge being wrung out and finding new fluid in new directions. Nice deep inhale into your belly and exhaling out. Gently bringing your head back to the center first, then starting at the rib cage and lowering the right rib cage down, followed by the low back, and then finally that pelvis. Taking the right foot to the floor, and then slowly lifting the left leg up, placing the left foot to the floor. Now gently have your arms out to the side. Take your feet to the width of your mat, and we're going to do a little windshield wipers here. So imagine that your shin bones are the wipers on your vehicle, and take a nice deep inhale here, and then as you exhale, just let them fall to the right. Nice deep inhale, lift them up to the center, and then as you exhale, let them fall to the left. Inhaling up, exhaling to the right, and inhaling up, and exhaling to the left. One more time, inhaling up, exhaling to the right, and inhaling up, and exhaling to the left. Slowly inhaling your knees back up, and then gently exhaling there. Now, for the final pose of the class, allow yourself to take your right ankle down to the bolster and rest it down, and take your left ankle down to the bolster and rest it there. Settle the tailbone gently under if you're feeling any sort of tension in your low back. Allow your ankles to be wider than your shoulder width. So go to the edges of your pillow or the edges of your bolster. Roll your shoulder blades underneath you and then gently let your arms rest out to the side of you. Lengthen through your neck and settle your chin. And then slowly allow yourself to rest your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Gently close your eyes. And then try to let your eyeballs gently settle to the sockets of your eyes. Now, here's what I want you to work on today. You're in a position that your ankles are higher than your knees are higher than your hips. So there's kind of a downward falling happening of what is called your lymphatic system, which is the pumping system that lays below your skin. So the pose that you're in right now is called waterfall pose. Essentially, that means that it's an inversion of your legs. And so what I want us to do in these last few moments of class is I want you to picture a waterfall. Visualize in your mind the most beautiful waterfall that you have seen. As you picture that waterfall, take your mind's eye up to the sky. Is it a beautifully blue, bright day? Are there clouds in the sky, or is it overcast? And then take your mind's eye to the top of the waterfall. And then slowly picture in your mind, visualize that water gently and falling downward all the way down. Now, as gravity helps that water fall, just like gravity is helping the lymphatics and the fluids of your legs right now, can you visualize where all that water lands? Is it a river? Is it a lake? Is it a pond? Is it the ocean? Visualize where all of that water from that waterfall comes down and deposits. As you have imagined the sky, the top of the waterfall falling down, and then the base of the waterfall to the basin of the water. Now allow yourself to kind of step away and see that entire picture. Take that snapshot in your mind. See how it makes your body feel. Is it joy? Is it happy? Is it peace? Gently allow your body to be still. Allow the water to fall from the tips of your toes all the way to your pelvis. Take one last moment to truly visualize that beautiful waterfall in your mind. Take one last moment to feel the feelings that are attached to that. Did you know that just being aware of those feelings, you release the happy chemicals, the neurochemicals in your brain that help us fight depression, help us fight sadness? Visualize the waterfall, ladies and gentlemen. Now slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, please. Maybe do some circles with your wrists and your ankles. And then maybe start to bend your elbows up. And then when you're ready, one leg at a time, gently bend your knee and place your foot back onto the floor. And then slowly allow yourself to roll over onto your side and rest there for a moment, please. Take this last couple of breaths, check in with yourself. You just gave yourself an entire hour to heal. Not to expose yourself to everything that's out in this crazy world right now, but just to take care of you. Hold that for a moment and appreciate it. And then when you feel like you're ready, take a nice deep inhale in and a slow exhale out. And then on your next exhale, placing your upper arm on the floor and pushing yourself up into a seated position. And then finding yourself resting in easy pose, which is basically crisscross applesauce for those of you in the education world. And then bringing your hands to the center of your heart. Lengthen your neck, swelling your chin. And then taking a nice, slow, deep inhale here. And an exhale. Namaste. The highest in me salutes the highest in you. So guys, thank you for attending today. Now, before I let you go, like I've been mentioning for every class, and I will open it up for people to chat to one another if you like in a few moments. But before I stop the recording, one thing I want to highlight, remember, the reason we're doing these classes is to currently help our community. There are a lot of people that are in desperate need in this time. Times are uncertain and nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow, but we know what we can do to help people today. The outpour of help that we had on Thursday's class to help was just truly amazing. The number of you that reached out to me and told me that you donated to Miracle Hill really just put the largest smile on my face, and I cannot imagine the number of people it helped. So let's talk about who I want to highlight today. Most of you know about the United Way of Greenville. They have been around for a very long time. They help other nonprofits in our community. But did you know that the United Way has formulated a COVID-19 community relief fund? They started it about 3 weeks ago. At this time, they have successfully been able to raise and get donations of $68,000. So far, that $68,000 has helped Project House, Mill Village Farms, Meals on Wheels, Harvest Hope, United Ministries, Save Harbor, and Miracle Hill Ministries. So here's what I encourage you to do. Go to United Way of Greenville on your website, on your computer. Once you go there, there is a donation button specifically for United Way of Greenville, but there is a specific donation button for the COVID-19 Community Relief Fund. Now, why is that important? If you select money directly to that Community Relief Fund, it will be used immediately for those nonprofits that are in dire need to help feed people, clothe people, and find warm housing for them, or maybe cool housing, depending on how you look at that. So United Way of Greenville, COVID-19 Community Relief Fund. I will send the link today when I send out the Zoom link for our Thursday's class. Thank you so much for joining us. We made 43 people strong today, guys. So let's see if we can keep those numbers growing. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much.